So the Texans acquired Stefon Diggs and the fallout. I was curious what the odds would be now with the Texans. Texans have better Super Bowl odds than the following: the Eagles, Cowboys, Packers, Jets. C.J. Stroud is now third best MVP odds behind Patrick Mahomes. If Josh Allen wins the MVP this year, he will earn it. That's for sure. So Mahomes is your favorite. Then it's Josh Allen. Joe Burrow and C.J. Stroud are tied for the third best odds to win the MVP. And the Texans went to plus 1,600 to win the Super Bowl. They were plus 2,500. That was before the trade for Stefon Diggs. And you start to wonder Buffalo's side of this, because we can look at the Texans and say, all right, now you're formidable. Now you, the Ravens, the Bengals, feel like you guys have the best chance to knock off the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bills general manager, Brandon Beane, had this to say to Bills Mafia after the trade.
I mean, are we better today? Probably not. Yeah, it's a work in progress, and we're going to continue to work on that. I would just hope that people know I'm as competitive as hell, and I ain't giving in, and we're gonna work through this, and we're gonna continue to look. And I'm confident in the guys we have on the roster, and I'm confident, the staff we have upstairs that helps me, that we'll continue to find pieces to add, and that we'll be ready to roll when it comes time in September.
I would love to know, I don't know if somebody had the opportunity to ask the general manager, did Stefon Diggs ask for a trade? Did anything lead up to this? Was this sort of a compilation of things the last 2 years here? And now he's going at age 30 to try to help C.J. Stroud. I don't know if he's going to go in there and play for his salary that he was going to get with Buffalo, because people looked at the salary and said, well, he's a $25 million a year player, and you're getting him for 18 or 19 million. Then he's got another year as well. Like, did Buffalo need to trade him? Why did you trade him? These are things that I would love to ask the general manager there, because it feels like you took a step back. Here is the GM again, Brandon Beane, on that.
These moves are never easy, very hard, not made overnight, anything like that. But anytime you make a move like this, you're trying to win. And sometimes people may not see that, this is by no means the Bills giving up or trying to take a step back or anything like that.
I would like to know, okay, why isn't this a step back? Give me some confidence here. You're going to draft a wide receiver? Are you trading for a wide receiver? Brandon Ayuk, is he in the picture? Like, maybe he doesn't want to give you too many details, but if I'm sitting there as a reporter, I got a lot of questions here. And Stefon Diggs just said, hey, 4 great years in Buffalo, thank you, I'm going to the Texans. But I don't know if there was any acrimony here. I don't know. It felt like there was something there. And these receivers sometimes don't realize that maybe you're not that go-to guy that you once were. That's another thing. You go to the Texans, he's going to want to show everybody, hey, Buffalo didn't use me correctly, or I'm still a go-to guy. I don't want C.J. Stroud to do what Baker Mayfield did with OBJ, and that is he kept playing to OBJ, and OBJ wasn't the best receiver on the Cleveland Browns. The Texans, they went out, they're going after it. I love it. It feels like they're going after it far more than Buffalo is. Buffalo lost a lot of defensive players as well, but when you have that rookie contract, you can go out and get this guy. And you're seeing this with younger quarterbacks. Teams are surrounding them with weapons. It happened with Tua, with Tyreek Hill. It happened with Jalen Hurts, with A.J. Brown. Pete Carroll kind of invented this, it feels like, with Russell Wilson, that he was able to keep that defense intact. And you had Russ there, and they got to 2 Super Bowls. C.J. Stroud's cap hit is just under $9 million next season. So that allowed them to go get Joe Mixon, Danielle Hunter, and then they get Stefon Diggs. They're ready to go. And they won 10 games last year. That confidence level, they're not going to surprise anybody this year. And it almost feels like everybody's going to jump on the bandwagon. And I would caution, when you bring people together like that, it can work or it can fail spectacularly. That you're trying to get that team on the same page, because last year you were underdogs. And, we didn't know about C.J. Stroud. We quickly found out DeMeco Ryans' first head coaching job. I can't help but think about the Jets. The Jets looking at the Texans, because the Texans got the defensive coordinator from the 49ers, and they had the number 2 overall pick. Well, guess who did the same thing? The Jets. They took Robert Saleh. He was the defensive coordinator with the 49ers, and they had the 2nd pick overall. And they took Zach Wilson. It didn't work out, obviously. But with the Texans, DeMeco Ryans has worked out, and so is C.J. Stroud. Isn't that strange how you can have the same scenario and it doesn't work out? And I don't know if Robert Saleh is going to stay. I don't know if he's going to last. Zach Wilson hasn't. But C.J. Stroud looks like he's a franchise quarterback, and you got DeMeco Ryans. So it's quick. It happens that quickly. But that's why what the Bears are doing with Caleb Williams, I think that's the smart thing to do. Don't send that quarterback out and go, hey, we're paying you. You're number 1 pick. Go out there and earn it, because it's not working for Bryce Young in Carolina. And until they surround him, we're not going to see if he can really play and be a franchise quarterback. Yes, Marvin.
If the Bills win 12 games, will it be easier for Josh Allen to win the MVP award because they don't have Stefon Diggs?
Sure. But, with Buffalo, it's the same thing with the Ravens, with the Cowboys. Whatever you do during the regular season, it doesn't matter. We've seen that. I mean, it's like the Boston Celtics. Hey, first team to 60 wins. Okay, great. Who cares? What are you going to do in the playoffs? You going to win? You're going to win a title. It's like the Joker. Oh, great. Another great season. Let's see what you do in the playoffs. He wins a title. We never ask that question again. Giannis. Oh, great. MVP. What are you going to do? When are you going to win? Win a title. Clayton Kershaw. Well, that's great. Let's see what you do in the playoffs. There's certain players, there's certain teams, and I think that's what we'll do with Buffalo. We'll do that with Baltimore and Lamar Jackson. We'll do that with the Cowboys. Hey, 12 wins. Great. What's it mean? Nothing. They've had home field advantage. They got blown out by the Packers. The Texans went toe-to-toe with the Ravens for the first half of that matchup in the postseason. And that's what we want to see. We want to see, what do you do when you get to the postseason? We don't do that with Mahomes. We don't. How many wins did Kansas City have last year? Who cares? I think they had 11. Okay. We know what they do when they get to the postseason. And I think that's the important part of all of this. Make the playoffs. That's the key. But Buffalo, I got odds of who they're going to select. They don't have many draft picks here. I don't know how they're rebuilding. What position will Buffalo select with their first-round pick? They have the 28th overall pick. Can they move up and get one of these great receivers? I don't know what they have to trade up to get one of the top 3 receivers. It's the wide receiver by far is who the Bills are going to take with their first-round pick, then defensive end, and then cornerback.